All right, let's talk about the AI gold rush. Right now, all the attention is on the flashy stuff, the chatbots, the image generators, all this incredible software. But today, we're going to dig a little deeper. We're going past the digital gold to find the real money, the companies that are building the physical world that makes all of this AI stuff even possible. Let's get into it. So, let me ask you this. What do you think is the most important tool in this whole revolution? Is it some fancy new algorithm? A bigger language model? Well, the answer might surprise you, because it's not something you can just download. It's something you actually have to build.
That's right, it's the picks and shovels. Think about the original gold rushes, right? The people who made the most reliable fortunes weren't necessarily the ones finding gold. It was the folks selling the picks, the shovels, the wheelbarrows to all the hopeful prospectors. And in the AI gold rush, it's the exact same story. The real foundational power is with the companies making the essential tools.
To really understand what these tools are, we have to go from the abstract world of the cloud to the physical world of the clean room. We're going inside the chip factory, where these big ideas about AI get physically forged into silicon reality.
I mean, just think about it for a second. These massive AI models need a staggering amount of computing power. Every time you ask a question, it sets off this chain reaction across millions of tiny transistors on a semiconductor chip. As Applied Materials CEO Gary Dickerson says, semiconductors are the heart of the AI technology stack. Without these little engines, AI is just an idea on a piece of paper.
And this is where we meet the ultimate picks and shovels company of our time, Applied Materials, or AMAT. Now, these guys don't actually make the chips you buy. No, they do something even more fundamental. They build the massive, incredibly complex, ultra-precise machines that other companies need to build the chips. They're basically the builders of the builders. Okay, so if the AI boom is as big as everyone says, then a company like this, one of the builders of the builders, should be seeing it in their bank accounts, right? The numbers should tell the story. So let's crack open a hypothetical Q1 earnings report from Applied Materials and see the hard data behind this hardware revolution. So coming into the quarter, Wall Street, the analysts who track this stuff for a living, they were expecting a big number. They predicted about $6.88 billion in revenue. That alone tells you that expectations for AI spending were already sky high. But here's what actually happened. Applied Materials didn't just meet that number. They blew right past it. They brought in over $7 billion. That's a massive beat. And it's a huge signal that the race to build AI infrastructure isn't just happening. It's happening way faster than even the experts, though. And look, it wasn't just about total sales. The whole picture is even better. They beat on earnings per share, or EPS, too. They were supposed to make $2.19 per share. They actually delivered $2.38. So this wasn't just a win on revenue. It was a decisive victory across the board.
So the big question is, how? How are they pulling this off? Well, it's not by accident. Their whole strategy is built around what they call the 3 pillars of AI hardware. These are the 3 most critical components you need to build the next generation of AI.
And here they are. First, you've got leading-edge logic. That's the brains of the operation. Second is high-bandwidth memory, or HBM, which is the super-fast fuel for those brains. And third is advanced packaging, which is basically the high-tech glue that holds it all together. Let's break these down real quick. Okay, so leading-edge logic. These are the processors, the GPUs that do all the heavy lifting for AI. We're talking about the most complex chips ever made by humans, and building them requires the most advanced manufacturing equipment on the entire planet. This is Applied's sweet spot, and it's ground zero for all this AI spending. Then you have high-bandwidth memory. Look, a super powerful AI brain is worthless if it's starving for data. HBM solves that. Just picture stacking memory chips on top of each other, like a stack of pancakes. This creates this huge, wide highway for data to flood into the processor. And they just keep stacking them higher, from 12 layers today to maybe 16 or 20 really soon. Now this slide is the secret sauce. This is why HBM is such a massive game changer for Applied Materials. To create one of these pancake stocks of memory, you need to perform 3 to 4 times more manufacturing steps than for regular old memory. More steps means you need more of their machines. So this industry-wide shift to HBM is just a massive multiplier for their business. And finally, there's the unsung hero, advanced packaging. This is the incredibly intricate, microscopic wiring that connects the logic brains to the HBM memory stacks.
It turns a box of very expensive, separate parts into one single, cohesive, unbelievably powerful system. Without it, none of this works. Okay, so that gives you a picture of what's happening today. But the truly mind-blowing part of this story is what's coming next. When a company has this kind of front row seat, what do they see for the future of the whole industry? Let's take a look. For the rest of this year, they're not expecting things to slow down, not at all. In fact, they are forecasting that their semiconductor business is going to grow by more than 20%. In an industry this gigantic, growth like that is absolutely staggering. It's a huge sign that this AI build-out has a long, long way to go.
And it's not just a one-year thing. The CEO himself came out and said, based on what they're seeing, they expect this strong growth momentum to be carried into 2027. This is not a blip on the radar. This is a multi-year supercycle, and it's all being driven by AI.
So what does all of this really mean? It means the hunger for AI compute is so insane that it's fundamentally changing the timeline for the entire semiconductor industry. It's like the future that everybody thought was 5, maybe 10 years away is showing up tomorrow. And this right here, this is the mic drop moment from their earnings call. The CEO believes that the entire global semiconductor industry could hit $1 trillion in revenue this year, 2026. $1 trillion. That is a milestone that just a little while ago experts thought was still years and years away. The AI gold rush is literally pulling the future forward. Which really just leaves us with one final question to chew on. We've seen how Applied Materials is one of these hidden giants, building the foundation for the AI that we see. But as this tech keeps growing and changing everything, you have to wonder, what other giants are out there? Who else is quietly building the foundations for the next big thing? Who else is selling the picks and shovels? Thanks for tuning in.